All right, I got another one. Um, I just rewatched my Friendly Cab one just to make sure that I hadn't told the story yet. We used to dispatch out of the cars, and you really don't know what you're worth until you can dispatch for Friendly Cab out of a car, because you have to learn how to abbreviate all the street names and all the different things so you know what the abbreviations are, but you also have to make it so that um, other drivers, so you can pass off your notes to somebody else and they know what runs are out there. Um, like Beaver Street would be BVR, Agassiz would be AG, San Francisco SF, these are street names. But that was one thing. So, I got pretty good at dispatching. One time I was dispatching, and this new guy, it was his first day. It's just comedy. When I tell this story, people don't seem to think how funny it is, but it really is comedy. It could be a comedy skit. But, I did a video on the Friendly Cabs. Like I said, something's wrong with them every time. There's something wrong with them, and it's always something major to outright dangerous. There's just every car, and some of them were better than others, and people would covet those cars, and everybody was trying to get a personal car, and one guy quit because he had a personal car, and then one day he couldn't get into that personal car, and he said to the owners, the day that I can't get into this personal car, I quit. And he did, and he started another company. And he started before me. I was trying to start one before that. But circumstances, starting a business is tough. So, all the cars sucked. I mean, they went from suck to suck a year and then suckiest. But so we got this new guy, and he goes, he gets on the radio, because we had this radio that we dispatched through that we could also answer the phone calls through. So everybody could hear the phone calls and take down the information and pass the information to each other when it was mistaken, or you could say to somebody else, hey, somebody else, take this phone call real fast, and they would take it, and then you get to run and put it on your list so that, you keep everything in order. So, this guy gets on the radio and goes, yeah, my right blinker isn't working. And I said, because, I didn't know if the owners were listening, but they could if they wanted to, I said, did you check your blinker fluid? He goes, no, I didn't check that. And I go, okay, well, you better check that real fast. So he gets off the radio, he gets back on. I can't find where the blinker fluid goes in. And I go, yeah, it's right behind the blinker. You got gets off the radio for a while, and then he comes back. He goes, yeah, I still can't find it. I go, okay, go to AutoZone and ask the counter guy, and he'll show you where the blinker fluid is. He goes to the office, and we were going to have a dispatcher in the office that night because like Saturday night or something. And he goes, yeah, where's the blinker fluid? And the guy that was waiting to dispatch, because he was, waiting for his shift to start, he goes, yeah, it's in the garage. Goes in the garage and comes back, I can't find the blinker fluid. So another girl gets on and says, yeah, well, do you need us to make a diorama of it so you can find it? Everybody's getting in on it, and this guy's just a blithering idiot. And he quit that night. And the boss said to me, yeah, I really like that guy. Why'd you do that? I go, he's an idiot. What are you talking about? The cars suck. Why aren't you fixing these cars? And laid into him. But yeah, and then the other drivers started saying that, what kind of people are you hiring that thinks it's their blinker fluid? Yeah, that was a fun one. But yeah, it's only 5 minutes find something else about friendly cabs. Cars were just so shitty. Um, yeah, there's that one, and then that one. There's one, yeah, you dispatch out of the cars. I mean, but there was one that you got out of dispatching free because none of the inside lights worked. You'd have to have a flashlight because back then there was no meters. We had to go off of the odometer. So you'd have to have a flashlight to see what the odometer read, and then charge the customer how many miles, and time. What you have to add all that in, watch the clock and everything. But yeah, that was fun. And there's just so many shitty cars. I can't go down that list. Coming back up from Phoenix, I broke down. Going out to one time, the owner that I knew, he goes, "Yeah, just take these fuses with you," and it was a run to Seligman, and it was cold. It was during the winter time. And he goes, "Yeah, every time it fries out, just put another fuse in." So I went through so many fuses, I ran out in Seligman. And I broke down there. And it starts getting cold. It's freezing, absolutely freezing. And I'm sitting in the car all shivering with nothing. There's nothing open because it's Seligman and it's a one-horse town kind of place. So I'm freezing, and then I think it's like 2 or 3 hours later, he shows up with this tow dolly in his truck, and we tow it out of there, and I get in the front of the truck, and it was him and another driver or his brother. His brother worked there too, but he wasn't working there at the time. He was graduated as an engineer, and he was doing that. But his brother did work there. I don't know which one it was. They looked exactly alike. But so it was all three of us stuffed into the cab of his truck, and he had warm heater, and I was falling asleep in this front of this truck with two other dudes. Yeah, that was radical. It's things like that that just made me so pissed off at Friendly Cab and the owners, because it never changed. The ownership would change, but the cars would stay the same. But one time I got to run out to mini farms, and it was with this old man that didn't speak a lick of English. It was all Navajo, and we were driving out there. This might go past 10 minutes, but whatever. This is a good story. So he'd have to go pee a lot. So he'd tap on the center of my, on the back of my neck to stop and go pee. And then if I needed to make a right, he'd tap on my right shoulder. If I needed to make a left, I'd tap on my left shoulder. And I'll tell you, the res, it's like driving on another planet. It's so the Navajo res, and the Hopi res is right in the middle of it. Yeah, second mesa and third mesa. But I'm driving this old man. Mini farms is a long way out. You have to go through, I talked about Loop Road before. You have to go out Loop Road and then keep going at a diagonal up towards Four Corners. But we get to close to where he lives, and he's tapping me, but it's not making sense. And I keep driving. I'm trusting him. But finally he tells me to stop at this one place, and it's somebody that he knows, and he goes, "Yeah," and he points off this light, way off in the distance. He goes, "You see that light over there? That's where you need to get." And it's this is why I got GPS. The first time that I ever got GPS was because of this run. But yeah, I go, okay, and I start aiming towards that light, and while we were there, the guy whips it out and pisses on the guy's lawn. And we get to this other place that he directs me to this other place, and it's freezing cold and wind's whipping, and it's just bitter cold, in around zero. It was super cold. But he guides me to this other house. It's like a single room kind of thing with it's like an old schoolhouse or something. It was just a giant like hall room that would fit about 30 people, but it was just one, four walls. But it was I knock on the door because he says, yeah, yeah, he's like pointing as I knock on the door, and it was like, I don't know, 17, 18 women from ranging from ages of 70s down to like 10 years old, kind of thing. It was just a bunch of women huddled around this wood burning stove keeping warm. So they'd never seen a cab out on their property before. So they all run out and start taking pictures of each other in front of the cab. And then two of them, it was his nieces, and they talked English. So they go, yeah, we're going to direct you. And so they directed me over to his house, and they went inside and was lighting up his stove. I picked him up at the hospital, is what it started out as. But and he was all talking crap on me, and they're laughing. And they, got all of his fire going and got him all set up and paid me. And then I go, how do I get out of here? They go, okay, just go out this road towards that light. Okay. But I found my way out, surprisingly. But yeah, at that moment I thought, I'm getting GPS. I've had GPS ever since. And there's one thing about GPS: when you press home, it directs you home if it can. And when you're out on the res, it points you in the right direction. And you can get there through these Mars-like roads that doesn't look like they've ever been terraformed, or dirt roads. It's just yeah, the res is a strange place, and that was one of my res stories. I'm going to go into other res stories because they're good ones, but we're already at 12 and a half minutes, so bye.